Okay, let's talk about adding units to Salesforce. Typically, you're going to use this to maybe publish your boats on your website. Obviously, you want to get your units into Salesforce so that your salespeople can sell them. So let's just kind of go through the process of what is involved in doing that. So to start with, I'm here on the Units tab in Salesforce. I've got my For Sale New view selected. This is typically where you're going to have all your different views of all your different kinds of units. It doesn't really matter what view you're running, but just to kind of demonstrate, you've got different views in the system. We've got a website listings view here, which is basically just showing all the boats that are on the website, just kind of a nice convenient little report, if you will, or spreadsheet, just showing me all the boats that are considered website listings. But let's go ahead and add a new one. And in order to do that, I'm just going to simply click on the New button. We're now creating a new unit in Salesforce, at which point I'm just going to fill in this little short form. This is not obviously all the data that we've got on the unit. It's just kind of kick things off so I can then fill in more information on the unit, but this is just a little short form to begin the process. So let's go ahead and put in a chaparral. It's a 21 SSI, it's 2025, 21 feet long. If you've got engine information available, go ahead and fill that in. Again, all this is sort of optional information. Let's just say we're going to sell this for $55,000. We don't want the team to go below $45,000. Just give it a stock number. Let's just stock it in today. It could be whatever date you want in the calendar. Let's do a serial number here. This looks good. The unit type is a boat, but you could be adding motors or trailers here. Condition obviously is new, but it could also be a used unit. And then the type of unit that we're going to sell it as. This is a new in stock or maybe a new on order for a customer. This obviously could be a used boat we're putting in or a brokerage, consignment, whatever. These are your different sale types that you've got in Salesforce. I'm going to go ahead and put this in as a new in stock, and then we are the owner of this boat, Team Marine Dealer. This would typically be your dealership location. If this is a customer-owned unit that you're putting in, that would obviously be owned by that customer. But at this point, I've filled in most of these fields. Again, these are the only ones that are required. And so at this point, I'll just go ahead and click Save. And now I've got my boat unit in Salesforce, the beginnings of that boat unit. If I wanted to come in now and fill in some more information, if we're going to be using this for website publishing purposes, I'm probably going to want to fill in some more of these fields. These then end up in your feed to the website that then lists that boat on the website. All right, next big step is, well, we want to add photos, right? A boat is no good in Salesforce without at least a thumbnail image, especially if you're going to be putting it on a price quote, or obviously if you're going to be publishing on the website, you're going to want to have photos. So for that, I'm just going to go over here and click on the Add, Remove, Reorder Photos link. It's just going to bring up a window here where I can now select the files that I want to add to my listing. And I've created a folder over here in Downloads called Images, and I'm just going to load them all. So I've selected all my images that I want to load. I've actually gone through and made sure these look good. Typically you're going to do this as you're taking your photos, maybe size them so they're not huge 5 meg images for each image. And so these are already kind of cleaned up and resized so that when I go to load them into Salesforce, it's not going to be taking up a ton of room in Salesforce. It's not going to be really slow for the customer that's downloading and previewing your boat photos on their phone, as an example. So go ahead, send the files to Salesforce. It's going to upload the 21 images. At this point, they're just now all dumped onto the screen. I now kind of want to sort these a little bit better. This is going to be the order in which they appear on the website if you're using Salesforce to list your photos online. And so you're going to want to take a little care in just making sure that these all kind of show up nicely. This one right here is going to be your main thumbnail image, and so whatever image you drag and drop here, that is going to be the main image for the boat in Salesforce and on the website. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to maybe move a couple more around here, just do some interiors before we get to some of the close-ups. And that looks pretty good. All right, so at this point, I'm done. My boat record refreshes. I've now got my images here. I can run a slideshow. if I've got the customer sitting with me at my computer, just kind of a nicer way just to bring up the images right in front of them and just flip through them. At this point, I'm kind of done. If mainly you're trying to get a unit into Salesforce for the sales team to sell, or if you're going to ultimately put these boats online on your website, at this point, I've got enough information to do that. Of course, you can come back and fill this in with additional information, but it's really kind of up to you. This was just basically an overview of adding a unit to Salesforce. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, just let us know.